Chris, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm back in the golf barn. I've got a GC3 at my disposal today, so I figured I'd use it to do some fun tests. One of those is the difference between the regular Pro V1s and the RCT Pro V1s. So I've got my Garmin R10 set up here alongside the GC3. So I'm going to be hitting a couple shots with a 7-iron, a wedge, and a driver with both the regular Pro V1 and the RCT version of the Pro V1. We'll use the GC3 as sort of our source of truth, and we'll just see. We'll see how close the Garmin R10 does on regular Pro V1s versus the RCTs. Of course, the point of this is if you own a Garmin R10, do you need to buy the RCT golf balls, or can you get away with the regular Pro V1s? And how different are they? So with a couple shots, like I said, 7-iron, pitching wedge, driver, and we'll just see. So I'm looking forward to this. Should be a fun test. Let's get started. All right, I've got 7-iron out. The GC3 is hooked up and ready to go. I got the Garmin hooked up as well. We're going to start with the RCT ball. Nice strike there, right on the line on the GC3, a little right of the line on the Garmin. Garmin 170.5 going 178, 5600 spin. GC3 166 going 178, 5680 spin. So like we saw in one of our previous tests, the Garmin is basically spot on with the GC3. Compress that one a little more, left the face closed, it turned over. The Garmin didn't see that one. I'll try it again. Little off the heel. Similar sort of results on direction. Alright, the Garmin 169 going 179, 5100 spin. 163 going 178, 5200 spin on the GC3. We'll do one more here and then we'll switch over to the regular Pro V1. Yeah, hit that one solid, left the face open. Man, I'm really impressed with the little Garmin. Direction was basically identical. 169 going 177, 5700 spin. 166 going 177, 5600 spin. All right, we've hit 3 shots with the RCT ball, 7-iron. We're going to go to the regular ball now. All right, here's 3 shots, 7-iron, regular Pro V1. See how the Garmin reads the spin. Nice strike there. It landed on the 175 marker in the middle of the fairway. Alright, so let's just talk about carry here. 175, 2000 backspin. Carry 170, 5700 backspin. 2000 backspin on the Garmin. Alright. Another pretty good hit on the GC3. Garmin shows 157 going 183, 1300 backspin. GC3, 167 going 180, 5,700 backspin. Alright, let's do one more. Just make sure these first two weren't crazy anomalies. Nice hit there in the middle of the face. Okay, Garmin 176 going 193, 3,400 spin, a little better. GC3 169 going 182, 5,000 backspin. Okay, well, we're gonna hit the other clubs because we said we would, but those are pretty definitive results for me. The spin on those 3 shots with the regular Pro V1 on the Garmin R10 was woefully bad. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. The GC3 I was getting, 5,000, 5,500 every time. I've done this a couple times before and I was getting that number. That's about what I'd expect. Let's hit a wedge now and just see how different it is. Okay, this is a pitching wedge. I normally hit this about 150 yards, like 8,000, 8,500, 9,000 spin, somewhere in there. So we're going to start with the RCT ball. Alright, both of them showing a little up the left. That's about how it felt. 138 going 144, 7,000 spin. 136 going 145, 7,000 spin. Alright. Another one felt like a pull. .46 going 151, 8,100 spin. 140 going 148, 8,100 spin. Okay, one more here. A little bit up the left-hand side again. That's about right. Garmin 147 going 152, 7,500 spin. 142 going 150, 7,700 spin for the GC3. Again, awfully close. Alright, let's take a look at the regular Pro V1 now. Here we go, regular Pro V1 with a pitching wedge. Again, I was getting 7,500 or 8,000-ish spin with the Garmin, or sorry, with the GC3, and on the Garmin with the RCT Pro V1s. A good strike there, right up the middle. Didn't quite swing hard enough to get it to 150. 139 going 144, 6,300 spin. 136 going 144, 7,700 spin. Pretty good there. Up the left, squeeze a little cut. Garmin 143 going 149, 6,300 spin. 137 going 145, 8,200 spin on the GC3. Shot number 3, a wedge. Yep, kind of closed the face down on that one. Nice hit, but just turned it. Should should be the longest one with a pitching wedge. 156 going 165, 4,300 spin, 142 going 150, 7,400 spin. Okay, again, pretty definitive results in my mind. The regular Pro V1 was closer on a pitching wedge, probably just because the ball speed is lower. The Garmin has more time to read the ball before it hits the screen. But we're talking, 5,000, 6,000 spin the Garmin is reading versus, 7,500, 8,000 spin on the GC3. So let's look at driver. I expect to see even wider differences here, but let's see what it does. Alright, I've got the driver out. Again, Ping G425 Max. I'm normally like between 2,000 and 2,500 spin. We're going to start with the RCT balls. Kind of squeeze that one a little low off the heel. Both showing up the right hand side. Didn't hit it great. 220 going 250, 2,600 spin. 250 going 270, 2,800 spin. So that's interesting. The spin numbers weren't that different, but the yardages were. Okay, here's shot number 2. RCT ball with a driver. Ripped that one. Pretty similar direction-wise. The GC3 showed a little left of center, the Garmin showed a little right of center. They both were right down the middle. Garmin 245 going 270, 1,800 spin. GC3 where am I seeing it? I don't know how far that one went. 2,400 spin though. How far did that one go? Sorry guys, I gotta do a little digging on this one. I'm not sure how far that one went. Alright, let's do one more. I got that one pretty good, that last one. Alright, last one here. Good low runner. Up the left-hand side, similar direction. The Garmin shows 235 going 259, 2,800 spin, 249 going 277, 1,800 spin. Ball speeds are 149, 149. All right. I think that's probably good for the RCTs. Let's go to the regular ones and see what the differences are there. Alright, we're back here. Driver, regular Pro V1. Let's see what the differences are. Pretty good hit there. A little bit up the left hand side. Garmin shows it more up the left than the GC3 does. Garmin is 248 going 267, 2,700 spin. GC3 255 going 286, 1,900 spin. Interesting there, the Garmin read more spin than the GC3. Alright, a couple more here. Definitely getting tired now, but that was a good hit. Started up the left, kind of squeezed back to the middle, a little off the heel. The Garmin showed it as a draw. It was not a draw. 250 going 266, 2800 spin. 251 going 274, 2300 spin. Alright, last one with the regular Pro V. Good smack there. Wow. Super different. The Garmin showed that one like on the ground immediately. 122 carry going 209, 2200 spin. GC3 258 carry going 286, 2000 spin. I've gotten a couple of those with the Garmin where it just doesn't like it when I kind of hit it low. Let's do another one. See if we can hit a little higher. Garmin didn't see that one. Let's try it one more time. That's another one that the Garmin saw just super low. GC3 didn't. 162 going 218, 251 going 279, 2400 spin versus 2100 spin. Let's try it again. Let's try one more. See if we can't get a result that makes sense. I am getting tired. Off the toe. Alright. At least that one carried. Okay, Garmin had that one up the right hand side. 249 going 270, 2600 spin. GC3 240 going 275, 1400 spin. And the GC3, this was off the toe. The GC3 had that one as kind of a low spin looping hook. The Garmin had it as kind of a push fade. And that's, I think, well, I'll save it for my final thoughts. Okay, final thoughts. Pro V1 regular versus Pro V1 RCT. We're comparing them on the Garmin R10. We've got the GC3 down here as sort of our source of truth, our control group, I guess, if you will, for this experiment. The RCT balls make a ton of difference. That's the conclusion. They make more of a difference when the ball speeds are higher. I think it's fair to say that the 7-iron was way off. The wedges were reasonably close, but still pretty far off. The driver was off, but inconsistently. Some the Garmin read higher, some the Garmin read lower. And to be fair, I think the Garmin was really close on spin rates with the RCT balls when compared to the GC3 on the wedge and on the 7-iron. It was a little worse for accuracy on the driver. Again, kind of inconsistently worse. Some red spin a little higher, some red spin a little lower. But overall, the RCT balls, even with the driver, was much better fidelity to what we're deeming is true and real on the GC3 versus the non-RCT balls. So if you have an R10, do you need to get the RCT balls? I think you should, if you care about things being halfway accurate. If you've got it just as a way to swing over the winter or swing in your house when it's raining, you're just looking to stay loose or something like that, then I think, if you just got a regular ball and you're just banging it into a net, that's fine. If you're just using it for fun. If you're using it as something to try and dial in your numbers or to try and improve your game over the winter, I think you need to do yourself a favor and get the RCT balls. The RCT balls are far and away more accurate, especially with the irons. Like I said, the 7-iron and the wedges were almost identical to the GC3. The one place where I think the Garmin isn't ideal is, and I think this is true of all the radar-based units that I'm aware of, is the spin axis. So what is that? When you hit the ball off of the heel or the toe, there's something called gear effect. And you've seen this outside. If you hit the ball off the toe, if you're a right-handed golfer, the ball naturally has some draw spin on it and will curve back from right to left. If you hit it off of the heel, it naturally has some cut spin on it and it will curve back left to right. The Garmin R10, the GC3, let me start with the GC3. The GC3 reads that. Because it has the cameras, because it's looking at what's actually happening, it reads that gear effect, it reads that side spin on the ball. And so the GC3 is very accurate with the curve of the ball, the type of curvature. You're not going to get a shot if you're playing with a GC3 where you hit it off the toe and you look up and it's way right. And you say, that's not what really would have happened. The GC3 is going to basically reproduce what you could expect outside in real life because of that. The Garmin R10, the Mevo Plus, even TrackMan indoors, I think I've certainly experienced times where you hit it off the toe, and we saw it in here a couple times too. You hit it off the toe, you expect it to kind of start right and curve back because that's what happens. That's the gear effect. It starts right and it goes a little right, and it falls off into the right rough when it should have started right and come back into the fairway. And you say, well, that's not what really would have happened. So I don't think there's any way to get around that with the R10, or like I said, with the Mevo Plus or any of these other kind of more cheaper, consumer grade, basic launch runners. If you want the accuracy of getting gear effect, then I think the GC3 is the way to go. And frankly, that's why I'm still interested in investing in the GC3 for my own home simulator. R10 is basically identical. It's almost equal in terms of spin numbers, ball speed numbers, carry distance, and total distance numbers. It's everything you can ask for. For a $600 unit, it blows my mind how good it is in comparison to this, semi-professional $7,500 unit. But that's the only downside really, is you're not getting the accurate gear effect spin that you would see outside. But long story short, if you're interested in building yourself a simulator, I would definitely consider the Garmin R10 alongside a sleeve of the Pro V1 or Pro V1X RCT balls. It's incredible. It's super accurate. This test and other tests I've done show that it's, especially for clubs less than driver, for your irons, it's basically every bit as accurate in terms of those numbers as the GC3. And you're saving yourself $7,000 or $8,000. And you know what? You can invest those things in a better projector, a better screen, better enclosure, if those things matter to you. If the graphics matter to you. You can get started, and this is what I'm doing. You can just start out your simulator build with an R10, and then a couple years down the road, buy a GC3 or buy some other unit that's come out on the market that does a similar thing. I do think the camera-based units, especially for indoors, they're always going to win out. They're always more accurate. Like I said, I am a year or two down the line, I'm going to buy a GC3, and my simulator is going to have a GC3, because I do think it is more accurate. I'm a decent golfer. I want that sort of real feedback, and so that's what I'm going to get. But a golf simulator doesn't need to be a $10,000 thing. You know, all it needs to be is you buy a Garmin R10 for $600. You buy a net. You know, you don't even need the projector and the screen. You buy a net for a couple $100. You buy some sim turf for a couple $100. You have an iPad that you can hook it up to. You have really that's really all you need for basic setup. You can do it for $1,000 or $1,500, and you can have a nice quality setup that's 98% as good as something that's going to cost you $10,000. So if you don't think you can afford it, I think it's more affordable than it seems. This Garmin R10 is not a toy. It's a really pretty powerful tool to get better at the game if that's what you want. So hopefully this test was interesting to you. I thought it was super interesting. Leave me a like if you enjoyed the content. Leave me some comments if you have questions down below. I'd be happy to answer them. Yeah, thanks for watching again. We'll be doing more tests like this here in the golf barn or in my home simulator coming up here, so stay tuned. And yeah, again, thanks for watching. Let's hope, I'm in Minnesota, that's why I'm inside, it's freezing. Let's hope it warms up soon so we can get outside on the golf course and play. Thanks, guys.